Hey guys, my name is Daniel Mutheki, and I'd like to thank you all so much for joining me today. Most importantly, I'd like us to thank God, because without God, we wouldn't see today. I always tell you that you must be quick to give thanks to God for the gift, which is a new day. Many people would have loved to be where you are today. Many people would have loved to have an opportunity such as you have, but they didn't get a chance to because of certain reasons, certain circumstances. So always be quick to go back to God and say, thank you for the gift, which is a new day. As usual, my friends, I leave my social media details right on the screen there. And so if you'd like to reach out to me, don't hesitate. Chat me up on my social media pages, and I'll do my very best to try and get back to each and every one of you by the grace of God. If you have not subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for, my friend? Subscription button, press it, and do not forget the notification bell so that you're always alerted when we post a new video, which by God's grace is normally each and every Sunday. Well guys, new week, new video. And some time back, we did a video on emotional masking. You know, in that topic, we talked about a lot of us in life are going through wearing masks. We have hidden our true feelings with others. And the tagline we got that day was, happy on the outside, but dead in the inside. And so you end up showing feelings that are truly not what you're going through. And this has been to the detriment not only of you, but that of those around you, your spaces, your environment, your businesses, and the things that which you've invested in. Because you are not becoming who and what you truly are feeling at a certain time. And so we said we'll do a part 2. And in today's video, I'd like us to talk about reasons as to why a lot of people eventually opt to mask their emotions. They opt to hide their feelings. And number one is because most people want to avoid being hurt. You see, a lot of times we have found ourselves in situations where we have spoken out. We have probably said that which we are feeling. We have probably openly come out and said and behaved as our feelings have dictated us to do. But by the end of the day, you end up getting hurt. A good example would be in a relationship. You know, your partner wrongs you and does something, but you are afraid that if you react in a certain way, if you share your feelings, if you share your emotions, you fear that that would compromise your relationship. That would compromise the situation you are in. Places of work, same thing happens. You know, a colleague steps on your toe without knowing. You know, your boss, the people you're working with, they probably hurt you in some way, shape, or form. But because you're afraid of compromising that relationship, you're afraid of getting hurt, you build a fence around yourself. You subdue these feelings, you compress them, and you hide them inside, making sure that they never see the light of day. Unfortunately, this only causes more hurt than good. And so that's a primary reason why a lot of people will find hiding their emotions, because they're afraid to get hurt. Don't do that to yourself, because what happens is you start hurting and rotting from the inside. And one day, unfortunately, all this will burst out, and it might cause more harm than good. Another reason as to why a lot of people will hide their feelings, suppress their emotions, is because they avoid being seen as though they are weak. You know, we live in a society where if you show your emotions, especially negative emotions, people will tag you as being weak. People will tag you as being, you're a weak person, you're not strong, you cannot control your emotions. And a lot of people tend to opt just to suppress them. You don't want to show vulnerability to other people. And so it's easier to hide your feelings rather than to express them. Especially feelings of, anger. You prefer just to, keep quiet and not even share them. Because I remember there's a time a friend of mine was in a tight situation, and he opted not to talk about it. Why? Because the boys would judge him as being weak. He opted to hold back his feeling of sadness because people would have tagged him as being weak. You're a man. Men don't cry. Men don't do this. Men don't do that. And guys, let me tell you, if you realize that has caused people to die inside. People have avoided talking to others because they fear being called weak. Weakness has nothing to do with what your emotions are. And so be confident, do not fear, step out of that cocoon that you're in. If you're going through something, you better share it. Today they'll speak, tomorrow they'll sleep. That's what I always say. Watasema mchana, usiku watalala. And so go and open up. If there's something you're going through that is truly hurting you, you must open up to someone. Thirdly, why a lot of people tend not to share their emotions is because of a lack of confidence. You know, especially if you look at your upbringing, your background, in the space you came from. You know, if your guardians or your parents would always forcefully need you to suppress your emotions, this has more often than not caused a lot of people to lack self-confidence, low self-esteem. You do not believe in yourself. Because when you try to express yourself in some way, shape, or form, you are told either keep quiet, either that's not what people do. You know, like now when we are raising our sons, as fathers and mothers, you must be very careful. When you tell your sons, be a man. The guy is only 5 years, 3 years, 4 years, 6 years old. You tell him, be a man. They don't know what being a man is. Okay? And so you stop them from going through rightful emotions. Okay? By giving them taglines they don't even understand. And so what happens when this person grows up, they learn that they should never ever share what they feel, because that goes contrary to what they were taught when they were younger. Men don't cry. Okay? So what happens when you feel like crying? What happens when you're sad? What happens when you're going through pain and you've grown up being told men don't cry? What do you think that man goes through? It becomes a tough situation. It becomes a difficult situation. And a lot of people opt to vent in different ways. They venture into alcohol, they venture into drug abuse, they venture into all manner of things simply because they have lacked a self-confidence that can allow them to get out there and really speak and share what it is they're feeling. And so those are the three primary reasons that I have realized have limited a lot of people from coming out and sharing their emotions. Number one was the fear of getting hurt. Number two was a fear of being perceived as weak. And number three was an absolute lack of self-confidence. These are the reasons that have primarily pushed people to hold back. And I'd like us today to surely and honestly look into our lives and see, are any of these 3 pointers in your life holding you back? Have you not opened up in your life because of these 3 things? Remember, penting up your emotions, holding them compressed inside, causes you more harm than good. And in the next video, we'll talk about the kind of harm that suppressing your emotions, emotional masking, can cause in your life. What kind of issues can it raise in your life? And so guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I don't want to make this video too long, but until next time, may God bless you, may He keep you, may He shine His face upon you and be gracious to you. Thank you guys so much, and God bless.